Here with UWL head men's basketball coach Kent Dernbach as the UWL Eagles earn a 76-68 win over UW Stevens Point Monday afternoon in the WIAC tournament first round game. Coach, let's first talk about just you took that lead early 7-0, but you knew the pointers weren't going to go away. You had a 4-point lead at halftime, and the second half was sort of back and forth. Let's just talk about the game first of all, how you felt your team kind of came out of it.
Well, we started off getting that lead, but it was really because they were missing some shots. They had a couple in tight that they missed, and credit to the guys who took advantage and had a little bit of a lead, but it wasn't going to hold up. And then we had an uncharacteristic 7 turnovers, I think, within the first 12 minutes of the game, and that's just not the way that we've played the entire year. We're under 10 turnovers, so to have 7, in the first 10 minutes, just had an awkward feeling. But you'd expect that playing a really good team, like Stevens Point, and they're well coached, and obviously they're going to make you work for everything. But I was really happy right around the 5-minute mark in the second half. I think we didn't get that under 4 media timeout, in the first half, really from about the 5-minute mark all the way down, I think it was like to 8 seconds. And we had a lead, lost the lead, and then for us to really just kind of grind and outlast there, to come away and have a 4-point lead at halftime, I think was really, really important. And it just set the tone, that we can be resilient. And that's a heck of a long stretch, playing 4.5, 5 minutes without any break in there. And I was just really pleased that we're able to score inside, with Seth Anderson, Ethan, and then Wyatt getting himself to the line there down the stretch to go into halftime with a 4-point lead.
And the second half, like I said, it was back and forth. You had a little bit of a lead there, but they came back, which, of course, you knew they were going to do. They were hitting their three-pointers there in the second half.
Yeah.
Game was tied 60-60. Then Will Furman hits that big three-pointer, and you go on a 9-0 run there. Talk about that right there, that big basket by Will.
Yeah, well, leading up to that, they were making us pay for every mistake on the defensive end. If we give a baseline, it's not like they made the drift pass right away and knocked in the three, but it was always 2 or 3 passes later on. And again, that's what you expect from a really efficient offensive team. And they had two guys that really stepped up for them, and Brady Wagner as a senior, and Peter Timmerman that made us pay for every mistake we had. And then finally, we were able to lock in a little bit, and we had a couple open look threes that we weren't able to capitalize in the first half. I think we were 2 for 11 or something like that. But Will, boy, to step up, he made a really tough 15-foot jumper, off of a ball screen, and that 3 to knock down. And it just really says a lot about that young man being a freshman who's now started, for us here consistently down the stretch, and his play overall. And I know Ethan had 31, and that was a heck of a night. He was pretty darn good, but boy, Will Furman, played his butt off. In addition to Seth Anderson, specifically on the defensive end, against probably maybe one of the best players, if not the best player in the league, in Philip Flory.
Let's talk about just kind of a unique schedule with the afternoon game. Did that anything different for you in terms of a 3 o'clock start?
Well, it certainly has a different tone, right? But it was the same thing for Stevens Point. They have to get on that bus and test early and get over here. But there's no doubt it was a little bit of a different tone, in it, where it's something that you haven't done. Now, if you have a non-conference schedule, you're probably going to play a 1 o'clock or a 3 o'clock game, in there. But for this to be our first one, again, we worked through those awkward moments, and just pleased again that we were able to do enough. Certainly wasn't 40 minutes of great basketball where we're up to our standard, but we just did enough against a really, really good team that was playing well and making us pay, on the offensive end.
Talk about your team. You're 7-2 right now. Of course, everybody's going through this year, but just talk about how you think your team's responded, and now you get to advance to the semifinals, and just how they've approached this season so far.
Yeah, well, you think, we're towards the end of our season, but we're only 9 games in, right? And with 3 new starters and some role guys coming in, off the bench into new roles and new leadership roles. I mean, we're not even through our non-conference play yet. We just happen to be doing it against the best teams in the country, playing the best league in the country. So I'm really happy for our guys, how they've responded. To be sitting here 9 games in, an opportunity to play a great Oshkosh team, not just good, but really darn good Oshkosh team, perhaps great at times, on Wednesday. That's high, that really can score the ball. But one thing as well, they've defended really, really well this year, holding teams under 30% from 3. So we're going to have our work cut out, but it's what you would expect, in a WIAC tournament semifinal game. And luckily, we did enough, throughout the regular season that we get them at home, and we have to be able to use that to our advantage on Wednesday.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.